Hello, everybody. It's Gloria from Gigi the Crochet Queen. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you, Dr. Katrina, for your continued membership. And for all of my new subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for my returning subscribers, thank you for returning. So I thought on this live, I would just do a quick tutorial. Missing my thing. I'll be right. Okay, I am back. Hey, Shatika, how are you today? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the thumbs up. So I figured I would do this quick. Shouldn't take probably about 30 minutes or more, depending on how fast I crochet and how fast you crochet. But I'm going to do another one of these cute little keychain mittens. I put this on. This will be in my whatnot sale. So I put it on this tiny little key ring here. You can attach it to your purse or wherever. And this is what I'm going to use for the, which is probably the same size. It's a big one. Yep, it's bigger. It's a pretty big one. But anyway, this one I'll keep for myself. And I put everything on my purse, so I need something that's really going to hold. And this is a pretty big lobster claw. So what you'll need is a 3.0 millimeter hook and some red yarn and some white yarn, a yarn needle, scissors, and jewelry pliers if you need it for your jump rings. I do. I don't try to open those things with my fingers. So we're going to get started. And the first thing you want to do is make a magic circle, magic ring. And I don't show it because every time I've tried to set up where you can see what I'm doing, I got so much feedback. So that'll be something I'm going to figure out how not to get the feedback. But in the meantime, make a magic circle and do 6 single crochets into that magic circle. Oh, another thing you will need is stitch marker. And when you get your 6 single crochets in the magic circle, you pull the tail to close the ring. And then you want to slip stitch to join. And for the people that rewatch this, they can always write down the instructions. I'm just going to keep going. And the round 2, and this is the thumb that you're making. So round 2, and by the way, if you want to find this crochet, it is Fame Art at Poonam. I think that's how you say her name. That is the YouTube channel that I found this on. So this is her pattern, not mine. So round 2, you want to chain 1 and do single crochet into each stitch around. So you'll still have 6 single crochets. And when you get your 6 single crochets, you're going to slip stitch to join and fasten off. Thank you to the lurkers, and I hope you do a thumbs up. Okay. Trying to count these. I got my 6. I'm going to do a slip stitch to join. And fasten off. And you want to pull your tail into the inside of your little thumb. And it should look like that. Just a tiny little thing. So bring the tail in and then tie the 2 tails together. The one from your magic circle and the one that you're bringing in. Tie them together and snip off the excess. Get in there now. Why am I having such a hard time with this little tiny thing? Anywho. So again, tie your tails together and snip off the excess, and then make sure you turn your little thumb the right side. And my garbage can is all the way over on the other side. And I use my crochet hook, push it back through. So you got it on the right side is out. So that's what it should look like, the little thumb part. Now, and I should have said you start with the red. Wasn't thinking. Now with the red again, we're going to start with the palm. So again, you start with another magic circle and 6 single crochets, and you should have your stitch marker so that you can, I put my stitch marker into the last stitch. Some people put it into the first stitch. Whatever stitch works for you. I always do the last stitch. So if I make a mistake, and I can always frog it and I know where to start. But I think either way it works. But learning how to crochet dolls, most of the doll makers that I followed, that's what they usually do. So that I've gotten used to doing it that way, and it works for me. And another thing, if you are someone that does the amigurumis and your stitches may get distorted because you put the stitch marker into the whole stitch, I put mine into the inner stitch so that it doesn't distort my stitches. Okay, so now that you have The next round will be an increase round, so you need to do 2 single crochets into each stitch, so you have a total of 12. And you can crochet over your tail as well. That's what I usually do. If I can get it in here. Why is it so tight? Wow, usually not that tight. Okay, so round 2, 2 single crochets into each stitch around. And we're working on the palm, or actually the glove part of it, the mitten part of it. And if you do the yarn over method, it makes your stitches tighter instead of the yarn, not yarn over, yarn under. And I did a tutorial on that. If anyone is interested in seeing that tutorial, I do have a tutorial on that. I finished my increase round, so you should have 12 single crochets in round 2. And place your stitch marker again, either in the first or last, whichever one you are doing. Well, if you're doing it in the first, you have to make another stitch, then put it in. But I always put mine in the last stitch. So round 3 is a single crochet. And then in the next stitch, you want to do an increase, which is 2 single crochets. And that is your alternate round. 1 single crochet, the next stitch 2 single crochets, and you will have a total of 18 single crochets at the end. So I thought this would be a nice little, if you're doing gifts, you can always tape this to your gift box. And you can also put a tiny little, maybe a candy cane in it. And also just clip it on your purse, because that's what I'm going to do with this. I have a lot of things on my purse. I need to take some of them off. I'll just focus on the Christmas part of it. And I have my, I made this Christmas tree last year. I don't know if you can hear the bells. They barely make a noise, but they have little Christmas bells. So this and the Christmas mitten will be on my purse. Right now I have all kinds of things on there. Probably was adding to the weight as well. But anywho. I'm almost finished with round 3. And again, you should have 18 single crochets at the end of round 3. And round 4 through 7 is 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So each one of those rounds should have 18 single crochets. So round 4, we're on round 4. 1 single crochet in each stitch around. I am doing a Crochet and Crime live on Fridays, and Patty was on with me Friday. It was a good show that we watched. I thank her for coming to join me. I love real crime shows, and I love documentaries. And that is what I usually watch on Friday. So my friend suggested it, and it worked out. So I will be on again watching a Dateline 2020. Something must be preempting their shows, probably Christmas shows or something. Who knows? But Dateline does show that it'll be a new one. So I will be on Friday. Hello to the lurkers. Thank you for joining me. I'm just doing not a tutorial. It's a pattern. For a Christmas keychain mitten. So now I'm on round 5. Again, single crochet in each stitch around. You should have a total of 18 single crochets. And I wish I could show what I'm doing, but I get too much feedback. One day I'm going to figure it out, but that is not today. I really need to figure it out, though. Almost finished with round 5. Round 6 is the same thing. 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And again, you should have 18 single crochets. Round 6. Wish I knew how to play music. I have a lot to learn when I finally have time to learn it. And now, round 7. Again, 1 single crochet in each single crochet for a total of 18 single crochets. Round 7. This past weekend, so much violence, so much violence. It's been a really sad weekend. Really, no place is safe. And I am going to attach a snowflake. I was at first going to try to embroider one, and then I remembered, oh, I have snowflakes. So I am just going to glue one on. Okay, so round 8 is when you are going to attach the thumb. So take your thumb and just find one. What I do is so tiny. I put a stitch marker. You don't have to do this, but for me, it's a lot easier to make sure I have the right number. So I put a stitch marker in each one of my stitches to make sure I have 6 single crochets to work with. And again, it is not necessary, but it works for me. And since I have this big container of stitch markers, I use a different color for each one. It makes it so much easier. Stitch markers are the best. Glad I got these now before they jacked up the prices. I've had these long before all these crazy tariffs, and I'm glad I got them. Because first I was like, I don't need that big jar, but I'm glad I got it. Some of them break, so you always, the extras, always have extras. Let me see, I did the yellow, did the red, okay, blue. Come on up. Okay, so I have 5 in there. So what other color do I have that's different? Is there a purple one in here? Don't see a one. Orange? Yep, you can do the orange. All right, so that's what I do. I just put stitch markers in each one of those stitches to make sure I have all of them, that I don't miss one. Because now you are going to start crocheting. So you want to insert your hook into one of your stitches, and that is where you're going to start. You want to do 6 single crochets around the thumb. And as I go around, I take the stitch marker out and move on to the next one. As this is a small, if your eyesight is better than mine, it might be easier. But this way, I am sure I am crocheting into each one of the 6 single crochets. Better safe than sorry. Even though this is a small project, you still don't want to have to frog it. And once you finish your 6 single crochets around the thumb, then you want to go around the mitten part of it, or the palm, or whatever you want to call it, and do your 18 single crochets. So I finished those, and now you just, if you left your stitch marker there, you know your next one is, you know where your next stitch is. So again, this will be round 8, and you do 6 single crochets. You attach the thumb doing the 6 single crochets around the thumb, and then you do your 18 single crochets around the palm mitten. Well, once it's finished with the mitten, so this is the palm part. Again, this is round 8. 6 single crochets, you're attaching the thumb, and you go around 6 single crochets of the thumb, and then 18 single crochets around the palm. Make sure that I'm in. Okay. So that should be a total of 24 single crochets. Now round 9. Round 9 starts with a decrease. You want to do 2 single crochets, a decrease, no, decrease, but you're decreasing 2 single crochets. I don't want to confuse anybody. So do a single crochet decrease. So you go, and you can do, I might do a tutorial on this, I might not, but so round 9 starts with a decrease. Then you do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And your next stitch is a decrease. Then you do 8 single crochets. Make sure I'm not here. Then after you do your 8 single crochets, you do another decrease. And you should have 5 single crochets remaining, and you just single crochet into each one of those. I should say 5. You should do 5 single crochets, and then you have a decrease at the end. And that should give you a total of 20 single crochets. So your last stitch is a decrease. And make sure don't forget your stitch marker. So round 10, you start with 11 single crochets. And after you do your 11 single crochets, you want to do a decrease. Come on, decrease. And after the decrease, you do 5 single crochets. Shoot, shoot, shoot. And then you should have 2 single crochets remaining, and you do a decrease, and that will give you a total of 18 single crochets. Why is that not going right? All right, I think I got, oh, this is snagging. That's not good. Or separating, I should say. Go in. That's very strange. Oh, this is big twist. Yeah, it does. Trying to do my decrease, and it is no cooperating with me. There we go. And you should have something that looks like this right now. Now, on to round 11. Round 11 starts with a decrease. We do a decrease. Am I in the same space? Hope I'm not. Okay, we shall see. We do a decrease, and then 9 single crochets. And then after the 9 single crochets, you do a decrease. Excuse me for smacking. I get comments about that. Just sometimes you just don't think about it. After you decrease, you do 5 single crochets. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, I did the decrease, so now it's 5 single crochets. Yes, so you should have a total of 16 single crochets at the end of round 11. And then you want to slip stitch and fasten off. And weave in your tail. Did I bring a yarn needle in here? Do not think I did. So I'm just going to tuck that in for now. So now we want to attach the white yarn where when you fasten off, you want to fasten off into the slip stitch into the next stitch. No, I'm just making, it's a keychain. It'll be for myself. Hi, Brianna. Thanks for joining me. No, I did not do the Christmas thing. Just a keychain. So attach your white yarn where you did your slip stitch. And now we will be going to do a half double crochets. So you want to start with a chain 2, and that chain 2 in that first stitch counts as a half double crochet. And then you want to just do half double crochets around, and you will have a total of 16 half double crochets. And you want, again, you can crochet over your tail. The keychain part was cut off for me. LOL, I'm on my phone. Okay. You do half double crochets. You have a total of 16, including the chain 2. I might do a tutorial on this, but if you are looking for it, it is on Fame. Let me see, what was her name again? Fame Art with Poonam. Poonam. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. I guess I have to go back into my descriptions and put that in there. Give credit where it's due. I don't know why I'm sitting back like I have a whole bunch of lighting. And it's almost finished because you just have one more round to go, and then you attach the key ring. Fasten off, weave in your tails, and attach the key ring, and it will be finished. Like I said, I'm going to glue a snowflake on mine. I was initially going to try to embroider it, but then I remembered I had them. I was like, don't let them go to waste. Can't wait 365 more days. Okay, so now I've done my half double crochets. You want to slip stitch. I'm going to pull this tail, slip stitch to join on that chain 2. Now you're going to do front post half double crochets. So you want to do chain 1 and then do a front post half double crochet on each stitch. I thought this was the cutest little thing, so when I learned how to do 2 screens, I am going to be in the money. I just don't, I have to figure out how to decrease all that feedback that I get. And everybody says, oh, your laptop is too close to your phone. And I don't know what the issue is, but I know I get a lot of feedback. And I don't have much room to move from, well, I guess I could always take all this other stuff off of that table and move further away from the laptop. I have to get the instructions again from VJ. I used to have the instructions, but I keep moving stuff from place to place and not remembering where I put it. And when you finish your last front post half double crochet, slip stitch to join, and weave off. And your little mitten will be finished. Let me pull this in because I didn't pull it in. And I want it in the way. Snip that off. So there it is finished. I just need to weave in that. So there it is, cute as a button. Just a little tiny thing. Now I'm gonna attach. I know I have to have, yeah, I was gonna say, I know I have to have all these Oh, these are the blunt ones. Doesn't matter. They work. Weave in this tail, and then I'm going to attach. I should have made that knot, but do the invisible join. I shouldn't have made that knot, but we're just going to ignore it. I keep sitting back like I have a lot of light. I have a lot of light, but it's not the light that really shines enough for me. I think that's enough. I don't think it should come apart. All right, so I'm going to attach my key ring, and I've already put all my jump rings on it. And as I said, I use my pliers because I bought them, use them. And I'm going to attach it on the white yarn right in front of the thumb. If I can get it in there. There we go. Yep, it's done. So now it's on its key ring, and now it'll go on my purse. It'll join my Christmas tree. That'll be what I do. There's an oops crochet. Thank you so much. So it's all finished. This was from last year. That was work. That I can't remember which one of the Spanish speaking ladies. So that is the keychain. So as I say, I have this big lobster claw one on here. So to get on my purse. That is all. So I know no one can see what I was doing, but it's done. Where's my top? There it is. And that's all. This is the first one I made, but I put it on just a little one. But this one, I'm doing a whatnot sale on Friday. So this will be in my whatnot shop. All right. Thank you for joining me. That is all. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Everybody stay safe. Keep crocheting. Bye-bye.